It's a Tuesday morning and you're at your local supermarket, navigating aisles overflowing with colorful produce, packaged goods, and tempting deals. The air is filled with the hum of conversations, the clinking of shopping carts, and the occasional announcement over the PA system. You can smell the fresh bread from the bakery section and hear the beeping of the checkout counters. It's a familiar scene, one that plays out in countless supermarkets across the country every single day. You grab a gallon of milk, some eggs, a bag of apples, the usual suspects on your weekly shopping list. As you move through the aisles, you might also pick up some cereal, a loaf of bread, and maybe even a treat or two. Each item you place in your cart is a small decision, but together, they add up to a significant part of your daily life. You might not think much about it, but these choices are influenced by a myriad of factors, from personal preferences to marketing strategies and even global trade policies. As you load up your cart, you might not realize it, but you're participating in a complex global dance of trade and economics. The products you buy are the result of a vast network of farmers, manufacturers, and distributors, all working together to bring goods from around the world to your local store. This intricate system ensures that you have access to a wide variety of products, no matter where you live. It's a marvel of modern logistics and commerce, but it's also something we often take for granted. Each item, from the bananas from Ecuador to the coffee from Colombia, has a story to tell. A journey that often involves crossing borders and navigating international trade agreements. These products travel thousands of miles, passing through multiple hands before they reach your shopping cart. The bananas you buy might have been harvested by a farmer in Ecuador, transported by ship to a port in the United States, and then trucked to your local supermarket. The coffee beans might have been grown in the highlands of Colombia, roasted in a factory, and then packaged and shipped to your store. Each step in this process adds value, but it also adds cost. This seemingly mundane act of grocery shopping is about to get a whole lot more interesting and potentially more expensive thanks to something called tariffs. Tariffs are taxes imposed on imported goods, and they can have a significant impact on the prices you see on the shelves. When tariffs are applied, the cost of importing goods increases, and these costs are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. This means that the bananas from Ecuador and the coffee from Colombia could become more expensive, affecting your weekly grocery bill. Understanding the role of tariffs and trade policies can give you a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the global economy and how it impacts your everyday life. Remember that time you tried to sneak into a club and the bouncer hit you with a surprise cover charge? You were all set for a night of fun, only to be stopped in your tracks. Tariffs are kind of like that, except instead of getting you into an exclusive party, they affect the prices of goods you buy from other countries. They make things you buy from other countries more expensive. Imagine walking into your favorite grocery store and finding out that the price of your favorite imported cheese has suddenly gone up. They're like little border walls, but instead of bricks and mortar, they're built with extra fees and taxes. These financial barriers can be just as effective at keeping things out. When you see those extra fees on your receipt, that's the tariff at work. It's a hidden cost that gets passed down to you, the consumer. Think about those jeans you love, the ones with the fancy label that always seem to fit just right. They're stylish, comfortable, and you can't imagine your wardrobe without them. They were probably made in another country, a place where labor and materials might be cheaper. This allows the company to produce them at a lower cost. That's how companies can keep prices down and still make a profit. They strategize to find the best ways to minimize costs while maximizing quality. But enter tariffs and suddenly, those jeans become more expensive. The cost of importing them goes up, and that increase is reflected in the price tag. The company has to pay extra to bring them into the country, dealing with customs and additional fees that weren't there before. And guess who ends up footing the bill? That's right, it's you, the consumer, who has to pay more at the checkout. You guessed it, the American consumer. You might feel frustrated, wondering why your favorite items are suddenly out of your budget. Tariffs have been around for centuries, used as tools in trade negotiations and economic policies. They can protect domestic industries from foreign competition, but they also have their downsides. On one hand, tariffs can help local businesses by making imported goods more expensive, encouraging consumers to buy domestically produced items. This can be great for local farmers and manufacturers who might struggle to compete with cheaper foreign products. On the other hand, tariffs can lead to shortages and higher prices for consumers, especially for products that aren't easily produced domestically. This can lead to public outcry and debates about the fairness and effectiveness of such policies. People often have strong opinions on both sides of the issue. Economists and policymakers constantly analyze the impact of tariffs, weighing the benefits of protecting local jobs against the costs to consumers and the overall economy. In our interconnected world, international trade is a complex web. Tariffs are just one piece of the puzzle, influencing how goods move across borders and how prices are set. Next time you're shopping and notice the price of an imported item, remember the hidden costs that might be at play. Tariffs are like that cover charge at the club, an extra cost that can catch you by surprise. Being aware of these factors can help you make more informed decisions as a consumer. Understanding the bigger picture can empower you to navigate the complexities of the market. And who knows, maybe you'll find a great deal on a locally produced item that fits your needs just as well. Happy shopping. Now let's rewind to 2018, a year that marked a significant shift in global trade dynamics. It was during this year that the Trump administration launched a series of tariffs, a move that would ripple through economies worldwide. These tariffs primarily targeted China, a country that had become a focal point of the administration's trade policy. The goal, according to the administration, was to protect American jobs and reduce the trade deficit between the two countries. Trump argued that China was engaging in unfair trade practices like intellectual property theft and forcing American companies to hand over technology as a price of doing business there. The tariffs started with solar panels and washing machines, items that were seen as critical to American manufacturing and innovation. But the scope of these tariffs didn't stop there. They quickly escalated to include steel, aluminum, and a vast array of Chinese goods. The administration believed that by imposing these tariffs, they could level the playing field for American businesses and workers who had long felt disadvantaged by China's trade policies. The list of targeted goods expanded rapidly, encompassing everything from electronics to furniture. These were everyday items that Americans used and purchased, and the tariffs meant that prices for these goods could potentially rise. China, not one to back down from a trade spat, retaliated with tariffs of its own, targeting American products like soybeans, pork, and automobiles. This back-and-forth exchange of tariffs became known as the trade war, a term that would dominate headlines and discussions in economic circles for months to come. American farmers in particular felt the brunt of China's retaliatory tariffs. Soybeans and pork, two major exports to China, saw significant declines in demand, leading to financial strain for many in the agricultural sector. The automobile industry was another major battleground. With tariffs affecting both raw materials and finished products, manufacturers faced increased costs, which often trickled down to consumers. The trade war wasn't just a series of policy decisions, it was a complex and multifaceted conflict that affected various sectors of the economy. Business leaders and economists debated the long-term impacts, with some arguing that the tariffs were necessary to protect American interests, while others warned of the potential for prolonged economic disruption. The trade war sent shockwaves through the global economy. Stock markets around the world reacted to each new development, with indices often dropping in response to escalating tensions. The uncertainty created by the trade war affected not just the United States and China, but also other countries that were part of the global supply chain. Businesses had to navigate a new landscape of tariffs and trade barriers, leading to shifts in production and supply strategies. The economic impact was felt far and wide, highlighting the interconnected nature of modern economies. As the trade war continued, it became clear that the resolution would require careful negotiation and diplomacy, with the potential to reshape global trade for years to come. So, what did this trade war mean for the average American shopper? Remember those jeans we talked about? Well, if they were made in China, they probably got a lot more expensive. The same goes for a whole host of other consumer goods, from electronics to appliances. According to a study by economists at the University of Chicago, the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration cost American households an average of $1,245 per year in higher prices. That's a significant chunk of change, especially for lower-income families already struggling to make ends meet.